All right, thanks for joining us for this quick look at Carrion from the Spider-Man and Venom Absolute Carnage set. He is number 45. He comes in with the keywords Maximum Carnage, Monster, and Scientist. We are going to take a quick look at his powers and abilities, and then we're going to do an example of how you can use him in battle. So quickly, he has two traits, Maximum Carnage, which gives him once per turn. When he hits, after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to up to 2 opposing characters that weren't hit, but are adjacent to a hit character. And notice that that is just deal 1 penetrating damage. He doesn't have to roll or anything else. If he hit one character, he can deal it to up to 2 other opposing characters that weren't hit. His second trait is Drain You Until You're Dry. When an adjacent opposing character begins a move, after resolutions, you may place Carrion adjacent to that character. We're not going to break that one down in the demonstration today, but keep in mind that that can happen multiple times in a turn. So if somebody sidesteps and he's adjacent to them when they start their sidestep, you can place them adjacent after they end. And then if they move again, you can place them adjacent to them when they move again. Or if a new person moves that he happens to be adjacent to, he can stick to that person. His third power that we're going to look at is a special attack power, and it gives him poison. When he uses it and damages an opposing character, after resolutions, he deals 1 penetrating damage to each adjacent opposing character. So again, when he uses poison, if he damages somebody, after resolutions, he deals that 1 penetrating damage to each adjacent opposing character. Which means if he damaged one character, they're probably going to be adjacent still, unless he KOs them. So then after resolutions, he'll deal another penetrating damage to that one character. If he's adjacent to multiple characters, that 1 penetrating damage can go to multiple characters, as long as he meets the criteria of dealing the poison damage to one of his opponents. Let's take a look at the back of his card. He is coming in at 50 points, starting with Sidestep, 7 movement, 10 attack, 18 defense, 3 damage, with Reducer of Invulnerability and Exploit Weakness as his damage power. Okay, let's take a look at this setup for our example today. So in this example, we have Carrion and his teammates, which are the Carnage Minions. The Carnage Minions are engaged in battle with the opponents over here. As you can see, everybody's tokened up, so they're in the middle of their engagement. We have these two standing back doing their range attacks, and we have Iron Fist tying up the two minions so that the range people can kind of snipe them from outside. Okay, on this kind of setup, Carrion can do his sidestep, especially when your opponent is tokened up. Is a good time to get your character that has poison, move him in there so that he can be relatively safe until the next turn when he can activate his poison. In this scenario, we're going to sidestep Carrion right in here, and then he could do his attack so that we can see how the special trait works. So Maximum Carnage, the way that would work is if Carrion hits we would say, let's do Iron Man for the example. So if Carrion were to target and hit Iron Man, what Maximum Carnage says is once per turn after resolutions, we can deal 1 penetrating damage to up to 2 opposing characters that weren't hit but are adjacent to the hit character. So he moves in, attacks here, and then Maximum Carnage trait would deal damage 1 penetrating to each of these two. Okay, the next turn, these three would clear. and then he could activate his poison. These characters, so Iron Man, we'll say that he still has a reducer, so he wouldn't take any poison damage. But Agent Anti-Venom would take normal poison damage because all he has on his dial is combat reflexes. Iron Fist would take regular poison damage because he just has super senses, so no reducers. So we activate poison. These two would take one click of poison damage. His special attack power then would kick in. When he uses poison to damage an opposing character, after resolutions, deal one penetrating damage to each adjacent opposing character. So not only did they take their one regular poison, then they would take the rotten touch damage of one penetrating, one penetrating, one penetrating. So that's a great way to start whittling down your opponent and really getting the most out of poison. Penetrating poison is great, and then that on top of and in addition to normal poison is even better. All right, I hope that gives you an idea how you can use him and his powers in an actual scenario and in battle. All right, thanks for watching today. Check it out. If you dig what we do, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.